deeply respect and admire. VVS, a very special test match coming up for India, perhaps one of the most important test matches in history. Your first thoughts, you will be commentating, must be excited.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite exciting because, over the years, I think for players who play only test match cricket, there has been no significant tournament. Yes, there has been a point system every year. You get a maze for the best test playing nation in the world. But unfortunately, like T20 or like 50-over format, there's no World Cup for test match cricket. Whereas it's a wonderful initiative by the ICC, and over the last 2 years, even though it was hampered by COVID, it's great to see that it's coming to a very good end. And luckily, India has been very consistent throughout the World Test Championship cycle, and so has been New Zealand. So it's going to be an exciting test match. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a very, very exciting finals.
How are you looking at it? Does match practice give New Zealand an edge, or does it not? New Zealand also has some injury concerns as a result. How are you looking at it?
Yeah, there's no doubt that when you're playing in a foreign condition, especially in England, ideally you would want at least one, if not two, practice matches under your belt just to get used to the conditions there, get used to the pitch, get used to the just the environment there. But I think India will definitely be disappointed that they didn't have any match practice going into the all-important finals. But what we have seen with this Indian team over the last couple of years, or probably more, is they're very resilient. There's a lot of character in this team. So irrespective of whatever challenges or obstacles they face, they're up for the fight. And I'm sure that that's what Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli will be talking to the entire team. That's a communication. That's a strong message they will be conveying to the entire team. Is don't think about what we don't have or what we didn't get. Let us focus on switching on right from the first ball of the finals. And I think that's what I'm sure the Indian team will be doing come the finals. But it's going to be evenly contested match because New Zealand also is a wonderful side. Especially in these conditions, I think they will definitely pose a big threat to India, keeping in mind the experienced bowling attack they have.
You've stretched the bowling attack. I was coming to that. So is it going to be a contest in that sense between the two bowling attacks? Perhaps the most versatile two bowling attacks in the world at this point?
Well, I think it is more about which team bats better. And if you see the balance of the batting lineup of both the sides, I feel that there's a lot more experience and class in this Indian batting lineup. Whereas with New Zealand, yes, they've got exciting young opener in the form of Conway, who has done well against England in the ongoing Test series. There's experienced Ross Taylor, Latham, and then Kane Williamson. But if you see the amount of experience, the talent, the exuberance the Indian batting lineup possesses, so I believe that whichever batting lineup scores big, above par total in the first innings will hold the edge. Because as far as the bowling lineup is concerned, I think both the teams have got experienced fast bowlers. India is really blessed to have two quality spinners. So overall, there's again a very good balance in the Indian bowling lineup. But I think whichever team bats well will have the edge, and will dictate the terms.
Set it up for me. The two spinners first, would you definitely play the two because they have all-round ability? And how important can they be in Southampton?
Yeah, I think I will definitely play both the spinners, because what Ravindra Jadeja has shown that is not only a batsman who can contribute and play cameo knocks, but he can play big knocks, especially under pressure. I still remember the partnership he had with Ajinkya Rahane when the chips were down in Melbourne. And unfortunately, after that, he got injured. So overall, I think that Ravindra Jadeja will definitely perform as a batsman at number 7. And being a left-hander, I think he's someone who can give that edge to the Indian batting lineup, who can take on the fast bowlers, also take on the spinners by playing his natural game. But as far as the bowling is concerned, it's not only when the footmarks are available for Jadeja, but also now he's become a more versatile bowler. He's improved as far as his bowling is concerned. So even he can beat the batsman on the first day of the test match, in his flight. He's improved in that aspect. And Ravichandran Ashwin is a top class off spinner. There's no doubt that he's one of the greats of the game. The way he has consistently won matches for India, not only performed, but won matches in India. And the recent tour to Australia is an example of that. The way he restricted the run flow of the best of batsmen, the way he got Steve Smith out by setting him up quite consistently shows that he is high in confidence. So I will definitely play both the spinners. Ravindra Jadeja will be batting at number 7, and probably Ashwin will be batting at number 8, and there will be depth in the batting as well as in the bowling department. There will be versatility.
So now the critical question, VVS, so much talk, Ishant or Siraj. Will you sort of put your money on one, or will you say both are equally good? India has this luxury of many good fast bowlers now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, there's no doubt that India is blessed with a quality players, and we've been talking over the last 2 years the way Indian cricket has progressed, the way the bench strength has become very, very strong, and there's a lot of factors which is responsible for this situation the Indian team is in. But I feel that Siraj has been excellent in Australia series, also against England. But the way Ishant Sharma over the years has contributed to Indian cricket and Indian cricket team is just unbelievable. So what do we want in this all-important finals is a lot of experience. And the way Ishant Sharma has given that solidity to the Indian voting lineup. So I would definitely go with Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Shami and Bumrah. These three will be my fast bowling lineup. And there's a lot of experience, a lot of class and quality in this fast bowling lineup.
Give me a sense, having played so much of cricket in England, give me a sense of the Duke ball. Make me understand what is different with the Duke ball, because everyone I speak to tells me, with the Duke ball, the swing in England, different from SG, different from Kookaburra. Give me an understanding, VVS, the importance of the Duke ball.
I think it plays a very big part in Test match cricket in England, because ball, especially for the fast bowlers, if it is hard and if it lasts for a long period of time, that hardness, the shine, if it is there for long periods of time, and with the environment there, with the conditions there, with a lot of breeze there, the overcast conditions may come into play. There's a lot of help for the fast bowlers, and that's why I think the fast bowlers are almost invincible in English conditions. And on top of that, the pitch also assists them, because there will be grass cover, there will be not only movement in the air, but also there will be a lot of lateral movement of the wicket. And the reason for that is the Duke's ball, because it's hard, and the seam is protruded and it lasts long. So I think it's not only something which will be beneficial for the fast bowlers, because if you ask any spinner, if he bowls with a hard ball, if he bowls with a ball which has got shine, he can also use the conditions effectively. And that's what probably the Indian spinners, Jadeja and Ashwin, will look to do.
Now, coming to the batting department, let's start at the top. I mean, it is so very difficult to bat against quality bowlers and swing in England. Shubman Gill is still a relatively young man making his sort of ground at in the international level. Your thoughts on Rohit and Shubman and the approach that they should adopt? They played well. I mean, Rohit obviously is a class act, been around for years. But Shubman showed what he's capable of in Australia. But it will be difficult. And what should be the approach?
See, there's no doubt that it's going to be challenging conditions for the openers, and on top of that, in front of them, they will be having three world-class bowlers, which they have to face. So I just feel that the basics for any opener is to see off the new ball. The initial 10, 15, 20 overs is going to be challenging. And I can just go back from the experience I had playing with some of the greats of the game. The best I've seen in my generation who performed in English conditions was Rahul, Sachin and Saurav. And what I've learned from them, watching them, is there are two important factors to score consistently in England. Number one is your footwork. Number two is knowing where your off stump is. Now, if you have a good forward stride, a good long stride, and you're always looking to play the full ball, you automatically wait for the ball to come close to you. Whereas if you play with a less footwork, then automatically you will reach out towards the ball, which is never, it is never good in English conditions, because you're always exposing your outside edge, and there will be also a bat and pad gap which is created. So I believe having a good long stride and looking for a full ball is very critical. Second important aspect of performing in English conditions is to know where your off stump is, because you don't want to poke at the ball which are missing the off stump. So if you have your good still head position and you know where your off stump is, then you can look to leave the ball consistently and force the bowlers to bowl to your strength. And majority of the Indian batsmen are very strong, whichever on the line which comes into their body. They're very strong, risky players. So I just feel that these are the two important things with Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, should keep in mind not only these two opening batsmen, but also the entire batting lineup. Because unlike some other conditions in England, always there is a chance for the bowlers to put pressure on you. Even though you feel that you got to a 30 or 40, you have a start, but still the ball is going to do something. The wicket will assist the bowlers. So it's always important to have the discipline, just like the way Virat Kohli showed in the 2018 series. He knew where his off stump was, and he always took a long stride, and that's why he was playing the ball underneath his high and with not a hard hand, but also always with soft hands. And that's something which is important to perform in English conditions.
You've gone to Virat, so set it up for me. I mean, how important is Virat? Because he will obviously, he's on the cusp of history. ICC inaugural World Test Championship legacy match. How should Virat approach? I mean, you've seen Virat from being a child, so just talk to me about it.
Yeah, I think he should approach the game, which I'm confident he will, like any other game, because Virat is someone who prepares really well for any challenges he's going to confront, but doesn't unnecessarily take pressure on himself. Because yes, it's an important final. It's an inaugural World Test Championship final, and he knows that not only as a batsman but as a captain, he's got a great opportunity to hold that ICC trophy. But I think when you are playing at the highest level, and someone like Virat, who's taken a lot of pride playing for his country, representing his country, he will just go out and play to his strength. I'm sure he will fall back on the recipe or the formula he has had over so many years for his success, and he'll just repeat that. And that's why he's been so consistent over the years. He knows that if Virat Kohli, the batsman, score runs, India will always be in a formidable situation, and that's what he will be aiming to do. He'll not be looking at runs, he'll be looking at spending time at the wicket, and once he does that, runs will flow automatically from his blade.
I spoke to the members of the team in India, VVS, and after the first test match in Chennai, that is, and everyone said the ground was like a graveyard without any people, because they had just played in Australia where there were fans, and they are used to support. And they were like, from the second test match in India at that point, the second wave had not come, so we had fans. And that made a massive difference. Now in Southampton also, we will have fans. And one can only expect there will be Indian fans, because Indian fans will come. Will that make a difference, you think? Do these things make a difference?
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference, because as an artist, because I feel that cricketers are artists. They're out there to entertain the people while they're doing their jobs and performing for their respective teams and countries. But I think, an artist doesn't like to perform in front of an empty stadium or stand. So I think it will be definitely beneficial for the players, especially if the situation is not right. I think the fans, with the energy they get into the stadium, I'm sure that can change the psyche and the mindset of the players. But having said that, one of the things which is a red flag for the Indian team is they've never performed well over the last few years in the first test of any series. So that is something which I'm sure, again, that players will understand, because this is the only match and this is the all-important final. So they have to start well. They don't have an opportunity to come back in the series, because this is a one-off match, important finals. So I think being switched on and starting well will be very critical. And I'm sure the fans will add to to create that energy, to create that atmosphere. But I think the players have to dig deep within to be ready from the word go.
Is there a favorite, or there is also a possibility of joint winners? I mean, if there is a draw, both Virat and Kane can hold the trophy. Are you seeing that possibility at all? Do you see there will be a result, and is there a favorite according to you?
Well, there will definitely be a result. Luckily, the only issue always in England is the weather, and luckily there's an additional day given to counter if at all rain interrupts the game. But I'm sure there will be a result. There will be a winner. And I still back India to win this trophy, because the amount of talent, the amount of quality the Indian team has, in both the departments, I think they have an edge. Having said that, you never take New Zealand lightly. You never take New Zealand lightly, because one thing which I admire with the New Zealand team over the years, not only this New Zealand team, but New Zealand team over the years, is they are always punch above their weight. They always give more than their 100%, and that's why they're so consistent in all the three formats. So I just feel that the advantage with New Zealand is they're already used to the English conditions. They already played 2 test matches before the finals against England, against the home side. That will definitely be the advantage, and that's why I think it will be an evenly matched match. But the quality of this Indian team, the resilience this Indian team and players have shown over the last few years, I'll still back India to win this championship.
For the latest news and updates, keep watching India Today.